Welcome, everybody. So we're going to have Dr. Allie Grimstone next. Let me share my screen. Here we are, the enigmatic Dr. Allie Grimstone from Brighton. She's been a GP for over 30 years, but she'll tell you herself. Come on. What's happening?
A little bit about some phototherapy patches that many of us have found extremely helpful for ourselves, our families, our clients, our patients, our friends. So we'll get straight on. So my background is I'm in the UK, as you can tell from my accent, no doubt. And I currently work mainly in a functional medicine practice in private practice, dealing with, I'm head of women's health there. So my specialism has always been women's hormone balance, but I'm also working mainly in a long COVID and chronic Lyme disease clinic with chronic fatigue and ME patients as well. So that's where I'm at. And functional medicine, for those of you that aren't aware, in functional medicine, it's a form of integrative healthcare where we're looking for the root cause of something and trying to heal things naturally as much as possible, often with diet adjustments, sleep adjustments, stress management, and improving sleep quality, but also supplements and any other modalities that come to hand with the aim of not using pharmaceuticals any more than we have to. Okay, so I'm also an NHS GP, although I'm finishing that at the end of the month. That's 1 day a week, and so I do understand both worlds: the mainstream medicines approach and this complementary approach that many of us are embracing, as we're beginning to realize that the pharmaceutical approach isn't necessarily in our best interest, nor in the best interest of the earth. Right, so my question to you, and you're welcome to type in the chat. I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from, and whether you are a brand partner or a guest. That would be really helpful. And I would love to answer any questions that you have. I may answer them at the end if I get into my flow. So my question to you is, have you been patched yet? As you can see, I have. I've got one here. That's the X39. I've also got one beneath my tummy button, because there are different patches that have different advantages. But the X39 is the single most important patch, because what it does is it elevates a peptide in the body called GHK-Cu, copper peptide, which in turn then goes on to activate our stem cells, which in turn goes on to help us to regenerate our body, to heal, to repair areas that need repairing, and to reduce aging. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about stem cell reactivation technology in a patch. It's a product that's way ahead of its time, as you can see here. So what are stem cells? Well, the stem cells are the progenitor cells. They're the starting cells that all of our organs and cells come from. So when you are first conceived, the egg and the sperm come together and make stem cells, which then divide and become different organs in the body. And we have stem cells throughout our lives. We just have them depleted as we get older, from when we're a fetus onwards. They can develop into any kind of cell we need. So they can develop into heart muscle cells or nerve cells or pancreas cells, whatever is needed in the body, and our body's wisdom will tell them what is needed. So I'm just going to play a video clip. Oops. Let's try pressing that button instead.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Unless you're using LifeWave. David Schmidt, our founder, creative force, and world-class inventor behind LifeWave technology, has recently achieved something in the field of regenerative science with a single LifeWave patch that researchers worldwide, spending years and billions of dollars, could not. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells, a true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. The secret? By harnessing the power of LifeWave's patented phototherapy, X39 uses light to elevate a peptide proven to signal the activation of stem cells. Think about it. These are the cells that generate and regenerate all the cells and structures of the human body. They're the building blocks for our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an internal repair system everywhere. But as we age, stem cells become less effective. Their ability to repair damaged tissue is reduced. In fact, by age 60, they've slowed dramatically. But all that changes when just one LifeWave X39 patch is placed anywhere on the body each day. Instead of older and less effective stem cells, X39 supports the production of younger and healthier stem cells. This amazing level of control over your vitality and well-being was simply not possible, let alone this easy, until now. And the best part, like all LifeWave patches, X39 is safe, non-invasive, and incredibly cost-effective. Look what people are saying about LifeWave X39. Backed by clinical studies, multiple patents, and 20 years of development, any one of these benefits would be impressive. But X39 is so effective, it can influence everything about your body, how you look, feel, perform, and heal. It's time you experience the power of X39.
So that's great. And that video tells a lot. So do make sure you write down any questions that you have to ask me later or the person who invited you to this talk. So LifeWave itself, it's a well-established company. It was founded in 2004 and it's open in 87 countries across the world. It produces innovative and patented products, and X39 in particular, which launched in 2019, has really fast-tracked the success of LifeWave because it's so unique. There is nothing to approach it. And this is David Schmidt. He's the founder and CEO of LifeWave and the inventor of the products. He holds over 200 patents now. He understands the importance of patents, which are very difficult and expensive to get to organize. But because he's got those patents, that means nobody can mimic these products. This is just one excerpt from the patent for X39. And he's had to get them for different countries, for the packaging, the branding, all sorts of elements of the product. So the importance of the stem cells, I've explained, but we have a rapid reduction in the number, the proportion of stem cells that we have as we get older. And by age of only 60, we have a 90% reduction in stem cells by then. So this you can observe when you see, as you get older, that you're healing less quickly, you're recovering less quickly from falls or bruises, and this is because of this reduction in active stem cells in the body. So how does X39 work? Well, it's made of organic nanocrystals. They're in the center of the patch here. Let's see. Just there, the central raised area, it's between two layers of very fine plastic, and these organic nanocrystals are formulated so that your light comes up and is bounced off the crystals at an angle that activates copper peptide in the case of X39, and another peptide in each of the other types of patches that we have. Some of the benefits of X39 can be seen here. Rapid pain relief, reduced inflammation, it supports wound healing. We get improved skin appearance and faster recovery from exercise. Anybody experiencing brain fog tends to find that it clears, and low mood tends to clear up as well. In terms of long-term results, some of them are shown here, and these are just a tiny portion of the improvements that we see. In the first few days, we find that 4,000 genes begin to reset, and that's been shown in studies of GHKCU. Within 6 weeks, we find the brain becomes more balanced. We feel less anxious and less on edge and less low. And within 3 months, the collagen is increased, and you can see that in the skin. It's very easy to use. It's not another supplement you've got to take. And many of us are taking a lot of supplements because we understand the importance of those. But to have something that's not a supplement is really great. You just wear your patch for 12 hours on and take it off for 12 hours for your body to repair and rejuvenate. Important to drink plenty of good quality water. So I recommend filtered water. And along with a new patch, you can apply the used patch the next day using medical tape to help it to stick. You can therefore get about 18 hours use out of one patch. And so it works very well, but we will always use a new one each day. And we take the one, you have to have 12 hours off. So if we've worn one from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, we'll then take it off and put it on again the next day with a new one. So, and in my case, I put it on my dogs. So they're each wearing a collar that we stick used patches to. It works where your body needs it most. So it might not be where you think you need some healing. David Schmidt recommends, and I recommend, that you use the patches for a minimum of 3 months plus an additional month for every decade of life for optimal results. For example, if you're 60, then you're really going to need to trial the patches for 9 months. Really important. You will see improvements. You can see results sometimes in days, weeks, hours, or even minutes. But as time goes on, you'll keep accumulating more results from these. Everybody's body is different. You may find that a detox reaction may occur. It happens in about 10% of people. Particularly common if you are somebody who has chronic fatigue, chronic infections like chronic Lyme disease or long COVID. These are particularly likely to have a detox reaction. If you can just stick with it, drink plenty of water, and keep your focus on the vision of the improvement that you will see. David Schmidt considers it his best achievement. And we're going to mention some testimonials in a minute, but just to remember, these LifeWave products, they're not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. These are wellness devices, not medical devices. Success stories are based on personal accounts, and they don't reflect what other people may experience. So just because you've seen this case with one particular result doesn't mean to say that somebody else with the same health problem is going to get the same result in the same time. Everybody's body is unique and different. This shows some results from a study, a case series of about, I think there are 15 people in this case series. They are looking at inflammation in the brain using the scan shown in the pictures, plus stem cell activity, plus brain coherence. So there are many different ways we can measure health nowadays. And you can see that in session 1, there's a lot of inflammation reflected by the red, orange, and yellow in the picture. In session 2, after 3 weeks of X39, we've got a lot less inflammation. In fact, the inflammation has almost gone completely. And there's also measurable improvement in brain coherence. And in session 3, the brain coherence had improved even more. So had the stem cell activity. This picture shows what happens in one study looking at the heart. And you can see the serial scans looking at inflammation. And you can see why we really do say you need to give it a good duration. You can't just try it for a month and say, well, that didn't work. Because in this case, you're not seeing an improvement until 5 months of using the X39. This, on the other hand, shows results after 30 minutes of X39. On the left, you can see a gentleman's upper back. You can see he's got a lot of pain, inflammation, and tension in the shoulders and the muscles across the back there and across the scapulae. And lower down in the back on the right, you can see there's a lot of inflammation as well. But after just 30 minutes of X39, there's a measurable as well as tangible improvement. Then we've got inflammation reduction here in a lady who's just carrying the X39 patch for 30 minutes. And this joint at the base of the thumb is a very common site for pain, wear and tear. And you can see the improvement here, which she also felt symptomatically. You may be thinking, well, it's obviously just a placebo effect, but here we show that it works in animals as well. They're not susceptible to the placebo effect. They're not thinking, oh, this is going to work, or oh, this isn't going to work. On the other hand, here we've got a really good demonstration of potluck. Go on. So you can see this Dachshund's got paralyzed back legs. Very common to have spinal problems in Dachshunds. They've been bred to have a very long back. And this is just after 4 days of X39. Same dog. Unbelievable. This was one of the videos that really made me realize how important it is that we get this technology out to as many people as possible, because it can make such a huge difference. Now we're going to have some visual testimonials. You can see cases like Dr. Stacy, and you can see her face in 2021 and in 2024. 3 years older, but she looks 10 years younger. And when you're looking at these, don't think just in terms of vanity, although many of us sort of look in the mirror and think, oh my goodness. But also think in terms of what's happening inside the body. This isn't just anti-aging on the outside, it's anti-aging on the inside as well. So this rejuvenation is occurring in your cardiovascular system, your GI system, your endocrine system, and your nerves and brain. This lady, after 355 days, you can see this huge improvement in the wrinkles on her skin and the light in her eyes. And this lady, she's got reduced age spots on the skin, reduced wrinkles around the mouth and the neck and the eyes, and she's just got that light in her eyes. And here, this is Marcy. She looks so much better. 2019, 2020, and 2023. Doesn't she look amazing? And in 2019, she was really struggling with stage 4 breast cancer as well. Here we've got vitiligo. So we're going to talk about a few illnesses. This doesn't mean that this is a medical device. It's a wellness device. So these are just personal experiences that these people have had. But vitiligo is an autoimmune disorder, which as a doctor, all I can tell somebody who has this sort of level of depigmentation is you'll have to wear camouflage makeup for the rest of your life. That's really all we've got to offer. And this gentleman, after 3 months, you can see how much happier he is and how much less he has of the depigmentation. And this gentleman, he was using it for a year, and you can see the improvement seen in him as well. This lady has Bell's palsy, which is also considered to be probably an autoimmune or post-viral condition, maybe autoimmune after a virus, because a virus can trigger an autoimmune condition. Bell's palsy is paralysis of a certain nerve. She's wearing an eye patch because when you have Bell's palsy, you can't close your eye properly. So you have to protect the cornea artificially. You can't do it naturally. And she had been stuck with her face like that for 18 months when she came across X39. Now you see after 3 months of X39, the paralysis is barely visible. And here we have psoriasis, which is another autoimmune condition where the body is attacking itself. On the left, you can see the normal thick plaques of psoriasis. And then even after just 12 hours, there's an improvement. This is unheard of, even with strong drugs. Here we have wound healing demonstrated. And again, this gentleman's had a fall. Wow, he looks so much better after 7 weeks. You just cannot see, even earlier on, you can't see that he's had that fall. And another case of wound healing, this was a burn. Now, this I want to talk about for a moment. This is live blood analysis. When you take blood and you look at it under the microscope with a dark ground illumination, you can see on the left, the picture on the left, the number of red blood cells that are stacked up. This is a measure of inflammation. This is the viscosity. This is due to the viscosity of the serum that the blood is floating around in, that the blood cells are floating around in. So when the serum is more viscous because of inflammatory proteins in the liquid, then the red blood cells can't move as freely. And then after 10 minutes of X39, the picture on the right shows the blood flowing freely. This is quite incredible. This really made me sit up. Here we have blood circulation. You've got venous stasis here. You've got the blood pooling in the veins on the left, already improved after 5 days. And water retention. This again made me sit up because as a primary care doctor, we see so much ankle swelling, and we really don't have much that we can give people. Well, nothing that we can give people that isn't going to damage their kidneys more. And yet here we have, after 3 weeks of X39, she can actually see her ankle bones again. This is incredible. And hair loss. Who here suffers from hair loss and would quite like that to return? We also see in some cases the hair losing its grey and some colour coming back. This is our Linktree site for testimonials. You will see that we've got over 500 testimonies. There's a clips by David Schmidt, there's doctor reviews, there's the testimonials are listed under different situations like arthritis and ADHD, as you can see. And I recommend that you take a look at this website. Just talk to the person who invited you to this talk to get hold of that if you don't manage to get the URL here. We've got animal videos here as well, as you can see. Athletes use the patches to good effect, as you can see. Even David Beckham and Serena Williams, Michael Phelps. And this is at info.com, is a brilliant website for you to be aware of, which the person who invited you here will tell you all about. It has patch information, everything you need to know. You can go into as much or as little depth as you want to, depending on your personality. It's got testimonials and doctor reviews as well, and also the patents and studies. So X39 is the foundation patch. It's the most important patch, the first one you should try. If you can only afford one sleeve of patches, then the X39 is the one. Okay, there are some other patches though. Eon we often pair with the X39 because it reduces inflammation, it supports the stress response, it reduces adrenal fatigue. We find that people are even more happy with that combination because reducing the inflammation in the brain helps. The other patches include the X39, which improves muscle mass and bone density and cardiovascular health, but also paired with X39, it actually blocks EMFs from the computers and Wi-Fi that we surround ourselves with these days. I use this pair, X39, X49, every day, and I use every one of these patches. LifeWave is for pain relief. You're using 2 patches at a time with this one, so talk to the person who invited you about how to use this one if you decide to order it. Glutathione, which is a really important antioxidant, helps support the liver. Carnosine, which helps with clarity, anything to do with brain and nerves. Silent Nights, which helps with sleep. Energy Enhancer, which helps with energy. It's another one where you're using 2 at a time. The SP6 Complete, which helps reduce cravings and balance hormones. And the Aloe Vera, which helps with the vibrant and firmer skin and reduces wrinkles. It helps with the pineal gland. Each sleeve contains 30 patches. There is also one not in South Africa, but in the UK and the other countries, that is like the Ice Wave, but with stronger adhesives, so specially created for horses and dogs. So you may be wondering, wow, this is amazing. I wonder how much it costs. But let's put a bit of perspective here, because stem cell injections, well, they're not around $10,000. They're actually more like the $30,000. And there's a 50% chance that they won't work. We've had plenty of cases of people who've gone to get the stem cell injections and not have an effect, and then found a good effect with the patches. But they're at the fraction of the cost. So let's look at the prices. They are universal prices. If you're in EU, then you pay in euros. Everywhere else you pay in US dollars. So the retail price is X39 or X49 will be $149.95. Other patches $79.95. I usually say if you're in the UK, it's about the same in pounds by the time you've added the VAT. But my question to you is, would you like to buy your patches at retail price, at wholesale price, or free? Because we do have an opportunity with a referral program for you to make back that cost. The wholesale price, as you see, is $99.95 for the X39 and X49, and $49.95 to $69.95 for the others, depending on how many sleeves you're buying. We have special enrollment kits. I recommend the core or the advanced for most scenarios. The core will give you 3 sleeves of X39, or you can mix and match. And you can talk to the person who invited you today about which ones you're wanting to get. The advanced pack will get you 6 sleeves of X39. So if you're thinking about your mum, aunt, daughter, siblings all needing this, you might want to buy the advanced or even the premium, especially if you are serious about an entrepreneurial business, or you've got a clinic where you want to stock them. These kits are a one-off. You don't have to keep purchasing them. You're not having to buy them every month at all. You just upgrade your kits anytime. You pay only the difference, and you get the difference in sleeves. And then you order any sleeves monthly or purchase maintenance kits for further discount pricing. So what's next for you? I'd like you to think for a moment. What's important to you? Is it your health that's the priority? Or are there other things like your dreams, your family? What do you think you would like? Do you want to be a retail customer, purchase the product at retail price? Or a preferred customer where you can purchase the product at wholesale price? Or become a brand partner like myself, where you get LifeWave to pay for your patches? This is turning LifeWave into a business by sharing it with others. The choice is yours. So now's the time to talk to the person who invited you to this talk. Thank you very much, everybody. Well done, Lady Clayton, for going director today. That's absolutely awesome. I'm so proud of you. Lady Clayton, I'd really like, if you don't mind, I'd love you to share your story because it's so powerful.
Hi, everyone. I can't see you because I'm on my phone. I've packed and I'm traveling. All my laptops are in my suitcase at the moment, so I'm traveling out tonight. But would I miss a presentation from Dr. Allie? Hell no. I love her to bits. I love her presentation. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So my testimonial was I never knew about the patches, but I've always been a health freak and always taking things that are drug free. And out of the blue, last year, I had a phone call about drug-free patches, but they didn't know that my cancer had returned the 3rd time round. So this was a great opportunity to start these patches I didn't know what was going to happen. Prior to that, I had a stroke a few years ago. I was on a walking stick and I couldn't fly. I wasn't allowed to fly because of high blood pressure in case of another stroke. So I was on my walking stick, and everywhere I went for my meetings was by train, not the plane, which just crumbled my world because my plane is the taxi. So I went by train. It was just long distances everywhere, too many hours. But lo and behold, something started happening. So on the first day of my 3rd time round cancer return, they cut out most of the cancer. And I put my patch on the very first day after the surgery. After the morphine had worn off, for the first time ever, on the first day of wearing that patch, I did not feel a single pain. And before, on cancer 1, cancer 2, pain for 6 months, lots of painkillers, always taking painkillers. Oh my God, it was horrendous, and I didn't feel like a lady. So this time, the 3rd time, lucky, it was no pain. My one patch wonder happened then. Then a few months later, my balance came back in my legs and I was off the walking stick. I had relied on that walking stick for years. Then my hair started growing long as well, hence the example, and thicker and better and healthier. Then there's another then. My cancer, my breast cancer, bowel cancer and cervical cancer gone after 9 months. So you've got to be patient to let the body know exactly what it needs to heal first. Then another I didn't need my reading glasses and my bifocals anymore. So my eyesight age, as it were, has reversed as well after a year and a half of taking these patches. Everyone takes vitamin supplements for the rest of their life. Take the patch for the rest of your life. And if someone had not shared with me out of love and kind, then I would never have known about these patches. So from America, they told somebody in Europe, who told someone in South Africa, who then gave me a phone call. So, you know, love is kind, and please share as much as you can, because there are so many people out there who need this. Thanks, Dr. Allie.
It's so true, isn't it? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, thank you very much, Lady Clayton. Wonderful. Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So for me, my husband's hand pain that he'd had for 3 years disappeared on the 3rd day of using X39. My sleep improved the very first night after wearing the X39 for the first time. And I've had multiple different things gradually improving. My floaters have gone, pain in my backside has gone, diarrhea has gone, my eyesight's improved, my eyelashes have grown again. For me, they're subtle things, but for people who have more severe situations, it can often be less subtle. Lovely to see you all online. Take care. Bye.
Hi.
Because most men never even think to try.
Hello. Oh, people have escaped.
Hello.
Shana was just here and she's gone. Oh, Shana. Yeah, any questions, Nalini, especially you?
Yes, I am interested in purchasing some of these for myself and try them first, and then I should take it from there. So, how do I go about ordering them? Do I order them from Nancy?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll call you afterwards, Nalini.
I beg your pardon?
I'll call you afterwards.
All right, yeah. Okay.
Anyone else? Shall we add some testimonials? Shall I put you on the spot, Barbara?
Thank you. Yes, my testimonial started off, I was having lots of migraines, and I was at that point of, I was almost desperate for anything to take away these migraines. And I had been in hospital because they thought I was having a stroke and put me on this horrible drug. You know, I was desperate to get off that. So Lucy, my lady that introduced me to LifeWave, who is here today, she told me about the patches. And so I thought, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I started on the X39 and Eon, and within 3 weeks, my migraines had gone. And the added bonus to that was that I also had tinnitus, and that was very much reduced. Now, I'm not saying my migraines have been gone forever, because I have had a couple of episodes where I have had another migraine. However, living with migraines for every day of your life is just not pleasant. And I can honestly say that the small episodes that I have had a migraine since have only lasted about 20 minutes, whereas before I would be out of it for 3 or 4 days. So I have to say that the patches have been amazing. And added to that, my hair color has come out. You probably can't see that in the color here, but I was at the hairdresser's yesterday on Friday, and she asked me if I'd had highlights, and I said no. She says, you've got amazing color. She says, you've got all these different shades of color in your hair. I was auburn, sort of a slight strawberry blonde auburn, and now that color is coming back. It may look grey on the camera, but it's not. I can guarantee you I've got some color back in my hair. Other things that I've noticed over the year that I've been with LifeWave is that my energy levels are much, much better. And my age, I have lots of little things starting to creep in, and when I use the patches, certain things happen, and I think, right, I'll try this patch, I'll see what happens. And so I'm keeping a record of all the sort of things that are going, but the migraines were the biggest. And I have to say that it's been a life-changing. Thank you.
Barbara, you didn't, the thing that, what you sold to me was that you tried acupuncture, you tried
this
osteopathy and drugs, and nothing worked.
Yeah, it was literally, I had migraines for, it's getting on for 15, 16 years of migraines off and on, but they were getting where it was becoming more and more frequent. And yes, I tried alternatives. I'd get relief for a bit, but then they would come back again. And they were really taking over my life. And no matter what I took, other than drugs, which the hospital gave me, which had obviously other side effects, because that's what pharmaceutical drugs do. They give you lots of other side effects. Whereas with the patches, you don't have any side effects. It's all benefit. And yes, though acupuncture, I would have thought would have made a huge difference. It didn't make as much of a difference as I have found with using these patches. And because the patches are placed on acupuncture points, it's a real benefit because you don't have to use needles. You're getting the benefits of the Chinese medicine philosophy and the way that they work. And so in actual fact, it's an all-round benefit because you don't have to use needles and you don't have to go to a clinic. You can do this yourself.
I'd like to add something to that. I've been an acupuncturist for 36 years, and I've never seen anything, and I've explored many other therapies. In fact, just about everything from acupuncture to zero balancing and much between. I've never known anything to heal faster than acupuncture. This is faster than acupuncture. And I've seen some really humbling stories from Linktree. By the way, did you mention? Anyway, there's Linktree. I would suggest going on that if you want to get more information. Incredible stories. The one that touches me is a 73-year-old woman who had not just one cancer, double cancers. They tried everything. This was in the United States. They gave us stem cells injections. That didn't work. And they just said, sorry, we've got a few months to live. Then someone told her, try these patches. And now she's alive several years later, selling it to not selling it, sharing the story and making lots of money. You know, she's her husband had a tumor in his eye. He was blind. And that came back. He's not wearing spectacles. I mean, to me, these are not exactly miracles. They look like miracles. There's a science behind them, but incredible. I've never seen anything like it, really. So. Okay, I think we'll end. Have you had enough, Nalini, to convince you?
Oh, yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Okay, my dears, we'll finish it here. And
thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you, Altair. Thank you. I hadn't seen that particular little presentation by Allie, Dr. Allie. That was great, and with Lady Clayton's testimonial. Yeah.
Lady
and I wish you well, Nalini. You're joining a great community, and Nancy, lovely to see you again.
Thank you.
And Barbara. Thanks a lot, Altair.
Thank you, Altair. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.